Good morning, student. Welcome to the fourth lecture of unit number 5. The today's topic of discussion is an Android fragment. So, what is fragment? You would have seen tablets like this, in which you are able to click on this and details comes over here. But in the mobile phone, the view is like this, say you are on setting page to go to the wireless page and you redirect to the available Wi-Fi. But here in this, you are able to have both the views placed simultaneously, parallel to user. So how does it happens? It happens because this activity is having two fragments. First one being the fragment A, and this is the fragment A and this is fragment B. So first one being the fragment A and second being the fragment B. Now, what is the fragment? Fragment is basically a piece of an activity which enable more modular activity design, because this can be controlled from the activity itself. It will not be wrong if we say a fragment is a kind of sub activity. So whenever the fragment is added, it basically comes to the on attach method. It means that there has been a call made to a fragment, and hence the flow comes to the on create method, and till here the flow is working on here and is trying to fetch the fragment, and things are going in the background. Then comes up the most important method, that is on create view method. So on create view is basically used to create a view. It basically used to inflict the layout which you want to use in our activity over there. And after this, we have a method, that is on activity created method. And this method is actually called after the view has been created and it's ready to be loaded. Then when activity is created, the functions and activities find views and other activity parameters like to be used in our own fragment. Then the flow comes to the on start method. This is on start method. It means that the activity is ready for the user interaction, and then the flow comes to the on resume method. Say if you missed application by chance, or you missed the application last time, or you are resuming from previous state, that time you can use on resume method to continue running your application to the way it was running. So this is basically the life cycle of fragment, which is starts from the on attach whenever the fragment is added. So it starts from the on attach method, then after that on create view, on activity created, and the on start method. And we have already discussed about the on start method, and after that resume method. That means you are going to continue your application to the way it was running previously. So other fragments or other activities are about to come online or about to take the main space. The flow comes to the on pause method. Okay, so after that the flow comes to the on pause method. Then if it's over, or if the on pause called and fragment is not getting the user, then we call the on stop method. And after the on stop method, the view is destroyed by view destroyed methods. After the on stop method, view is destroyed by the on view destroyed method, which means which means that whatever the layout was inflicted has been removed or has been deleted, and the on destroy is about to be called, and hence here we are having two options. Either we destroy the view and we recreate a view, and we got to on create view, or else either we destroy the view or we recreate the view. That means we recreate the view and we got to on create view method, or else we can go to the on destroy method. So these are the two options that we have in which fragment will be destroyed. And in the on destroy function or on destroy method, we do functions like removing extra memory or any occupied memory that was there can be freed, or we can say a kind of garbage collection is an over here. Then the fragment is detached from the running activity or from the host activity, and the fragment is destroyed. So this is a typical life cycle of a fragment, which starts from the fragment whenever the fragment is added, and which is ends whenever the fragment is detached from the view. Then now let's see at the fragments life cycle methods one by one. Now here are the methods that we are having. The first one being the on attach method. So basically this is called whenever an activity instantiated, that means whenever an activity instances. So the fragment and activity is not fully initialized, but typically you get in this method a reference to the activity which uses the fragment for the further initialization work. After that, second one is the on create method. So on create method, call this method when creating the fragment. In the on create method, you can initialize essential components of the fragment that you want to retain when fragment is paused or stopped, and then resume. So basically say you think that fragment is coming from previous state, or you are having some data that you want to continue using over that time, you can use that particular state to reset or to initialize to that particular level, and this is a on create view. Then on create view is a system, the system calls this callback when it's time for the fragment to draw its user interface for the first time. To draw a UI for your fragment, you must return a view component from this method, and that is the root of your fragment's layout. And you can also return a null if your fragment does not provide a user interface. So here in the onCreate method, the component is having basically three parameters. First being the layout filter, second being written by which view group is coming, and last being the boolean in which we pass that is the fragment linked to the present, and it's a boolean value that is true or false. So it returns a view, and it in case you want that there is no fragment, then there is just a background activity or background work, then you say a return null over there. After that, on activity create method. So the on activity create method is called after the on create view method, and whenever the host activity is created and activity and fragment instances have been created, as well as the view hierarchy of the activity, and view can also be accessed with the find view method. For example, in this method you can instantiate your objects which require a constant object, and now here we actually find we actually finding to use functions and the context objects of the application over here in this on activity create method. And then we have the on start method. So the on start method is called once the fragment gets visible. It means the fragment is visible whenever we call on start method. Then on resume method, the fragment becomes active. Then it's on pause method that say the user is about to leave the fragment. And when we like this, is just to do that. If you want to say some changes that we want to make, we can do over here. That is the on pause method. So the system calls this method as the first indication that user is leaving the fragment. And then we have a on stop method. That means the fragment going to be stopped by calling on stop method. Then on destroy view method, it means view for the fragment will be destroyed after this method called. And the last one is the after this on destroy view method, the flow can either go to create view or it eventually call the on destroy method to clean up the state. So this is about the all methods that are related with the Android fragment life cycle. And now let's look at the properties of the fragment. So the first one is the a fragment has its own layout and its own behavior with its own life cycle callbacks. Second property is that you can add or remove fragments in an activity while the activity is running. That means you can change and work on fragments. Okay, so whenever you are changing or representing fragments, you make sure that you are committing your changes through the fragment transition manages fragment transition manages. Otherwise you won't be able to see your own URI. Then the third one is that you can combine multiple fragments in a single activity to build a multi-pane UI. Then the fourth one is a fragment can be used in multiple activities. Fifth property is that fragment life cycle is closely related to the life cycle of its host activity, which means when the activity is paused, all the fragments available in the activity will also be stopped. So host means that the activity that is initializing or is calling the particular fragment, which means a fragment can implement a behavior that has no user interface components. It means that because it's entirely linked with the activity, and if the activity is paused, fragments eventually get stops. Then seventh number, fragments were added to the Android API in Honeycomb version of Android, which API version is 11. Now, after that, let's look at the types of Android fragment. So we are having basically three types of fragment. First one is the single frame fragment. Second one is the list fragment. And third one is the fragments transaction. So in a single frame fragment, fragments are using for handheld devices like mobiles. Here we can show only one fragment as a view. So in a single fragment, there is only one frame in a fragment, and we can change the fragments, but it's all in one activity and in only one frame. Then the list fragments having special list view is called as list fragments. The very first that we saw in the first page we are having a list, we go to the next one, and all in one activity. And then there is a fragment transaction. So using with the fragment transaction, we can move one fragment to another fragment. So when we do a transition from one fragment to another fragment, we pass the data or things like that is done in this particular fragment, that is in the fragment transaction. So this is about the Android fragment. In today's lecture we have discussed about what is fragment, and we have discussed two examples like tablet and your handset. After that, the life cycle of fragment, the most important methods that are related with this life cycle, and the important properties or some important points about the fragment. After that, we have Android services. So what is a service? We have seen that many times we need some background activities for our application to perform some tasks, like we are playing some music, or we are downloading some music from the internet, and all these components comes as a part of service. So services neither depend on process nor depend on thread. It's run in the main thread of the application itself. So the only advantage being that it runs in the background and has no GUI attached to it. So service is a component that runs in the background to perform long running operations without needing to interact with the user, and it works even if the application is destroyed. A service can essentially take two states. Say if you have some experience when you have played played music player, or even of the activity that starts the music has stopped or is destroyed, still the service that in which music player is running runs and continues in the background. So now let's see how we can have services. So we can have two types of services. First one is the bound and another one is the unbounded service. So when a service is started by an application component, then it is called as bounded service. Such as an activity starts it by calling start service method, and such a service is known as unbound service. And the service which is bound by an application component is called as bounded service. So first of all, we will see the unbounded service. That means when a service is started by an application component, such as activity starts it by calling start service method. Once started, a service can run in the background indefinitely, even if the component that started it is destroyed. And after that, service which is bound by an application component, service which is bound by an application component by calling bind service method. Bind service means if there is a communication going on like some client server communication, then the service that is called is known as bind service method. Offers a client server interface that allows components to interact with the service and send requests, get results, and even do so across processes with inter-process communication. And even the communication comes as a part of the bound service. Now let's see the life cycle of the services in the Android. So these are the two life cycles. This one is for unbounded service. The first cycle is for unbounded service, and this one is for the bounded service. So first we will discuss about the first life cycle. This service is started by the onStart service method. Once it is started the flow, it comes to the onCreate method. So in the onCreate method, it then goes to the onStart method. From there, till we actually stop or till we actually call the stop service method or stop self method, the service will continue to execute and will process to the entire background. So after we have called the stop service method, then the service comes to the on destroy method. In the on destroy method, we know like any memory or anything that we are having, we leave those phases and the service is shut down. So this comes to the part of unbounded service life cycle. Now what is a bind service? Then this service is created. Service is created in the on create service, and this on create is executed, but it's executed on the calling of the bind service method from on create method, and flow process from the unbind method, and it returns bind type as an object. So this object is used for the communication purpose, and after this all the clients have disconnected, then flow comes to an unbind method, and if on unbind by any change a bind service is called, then it executes on rebind method, and the service is again interacting and communication is going on. Going on unbind method, there is no new request. The flow is running is fine and its property unbinded. Then it comes to the on destroy method. From here, the service is shut down or the work has been completed. So we have seen that there are two services. They are neither depend on processor nor depend on thread. They are simply a different component working together, or have two services, unbound and bound services are called them bound because they need a communication medium to communicate. Like we have an example, if we can have updating some products in the commerce portal, then we continue refreshing and reloading, or reloading such services comes actually as a part of the bound service. So let's look at the methods or services, service lifecycle methods. So whenever we call the start service, the flow comes to the on start command. So this is called when component like activity or activity adds such request that has to be started, and it is started by the start service method. So this is all about the two life cycles of the services, that is Android service.